Hello, I'm Dr. Wendy Rowley of the Wonder of Human Design YouTube channel and the playlist series, How to Assist in the Creation of Peace on Earth. This is the last video, and we're going to do something very unusual for someone in a public YouTube video. We're going to demonstrate a healing. So there's, in the paradigm that Aliania has been explaining, of a 50-year window opening up for a fast-track healing of the human consciousness grid and other things that will assist us in peace through the Great Shift. She's brought forward with her group, as I said in other videos, every spiritual healing modality that you see is brought in by a particular group of helpers on the other side of the veil that work in alignment with the Creator's divine intelligence in healing. And Reiki is such. I have felt the presence even in Japanese healing art, Jin Shinjutsu. There's many healing modalities out there. EMF balancing technique by Peggy Phoenix Dubrow. She was taught that by the camp that brought in that healing. And so there's a new healing modality that's coming forward just for this period of time. And it's called women's resonance healing. And it's something that women do because of their connection of their resonance energy, which is, it's like an energy of knowing you are divine, connected, and part of the Creator, part of the creative source. You have that divinity within you and you're connected to it. And men's is on the human consciousness grid, but woman's is out in the greater field in the soul groups connected to divine intelligence. And so this healing modality apparently is brought forward during the Great Shift. And there's been history that we've spoken about where women's resonance was taken away after the fall of the Egyptian epoch so that they could build up a charge in the heart field pain body that women have that men don't have, that's connected on the human consciousness grid. And this was purposeful so that enough women would want to come together and heal the heart field of the human consciousness grid. And the higher creational beings and angelics then bring back women's resonance, and we have it for the women have that for the rest of the of our time and of evolution on Earth, as far out as these thoughts are, as far out as these things are. So some of the work that is coming in the work that I do is bringing back this woman's resonance healing for this period of time, and also bringing back some upgrades and connections back to women's resonance. And I can say it feels lovely. So we're going to do something unusual here. We had some activations and alignments, and we're going to demonstrate a woman's resonance healing in this final video. And then Aliania will come in at the end and say some more things. So I just am rolling with this as this unfolds. Like I say, when I do my presentations or my series, I don't always know what's going to happen in them, but I have worked with her for a number since 2020. And I had stated, she showed me some things on the human consciousness grid when I was in my 20s in a meditation class that needed to be healed. And here we are doing it. And here is some other things I had no idea were coming forward within that work. So nor did I understand in my 20s what the work was about or what any of it was going to be or turn into. As she said, your spiritual mission of your soul often comes in your 60s, and that's what my very first meditation teacher had said to me in that class. I worked with her for about 3 years, and then she passed. She was a lovely woman. And so that's what's going to happen this day. So I think I've prepared you all well with understanding to the best of my ability, and I'm going to get out of the way, and we will see together what happens. Okay. Braving into new territory on YouTube. Here we go. All right, dearest beings of light. She likes to close her. This is Alienia of Cosmic Service, a Palladian Mother of Sound. This is not a possession or a takeover. This is a soul contract to do some juicy work for the greater good of all. And she likes to close her eyes during the healing because she likes to look at the anatomy. She's pioneering into new anatomy and pioneering into new upgrades for women's resonance. So she has had to learn a lot. And for those of you who are new to this kind of a thing, we chose to come down and channel through her so that we may explain things in a different way from our perspective than she has through her own abilities with her vision from the human side looking out. So we did this for a reason. First off, anyone who intends to have that, why she did it, gets it. Because there have been connections made by the angels, archangels, and arachai out in the greater periphery of your planet, along with other creational beings, to allow for quantum entanglement healing. And we have made announcements about that through the Great Global Healing Party, which is why any group that starts to do grid healing will be connected into the larger paradigm of the grid healing by their intention, and they can add to whatever was done in the Great Global Healing Party based on those themes, because they're universal themes and they have many, many layers. That's going to cause some people to study the themes that were used in healing. And there's a lot of hints in those, because there's 3 years of healing, and we've talked about there is the body and the aura level, the inner torus. There is the heart field level, the 2nd year, and there is the creational level in the 3rd year. And that encompasses just about the 3 levels of the human anatomy in its larger context. The other thing that's within the Great Global Healing Party are intentions. So you can certainly start your own Great Global Healing Parties, or whatever you want to call it, and just have intentions of benevolence and allow the Creator to come in and do, in those healing forces, to do whatever is needed in healing. That is simply perfectly fine. But for those who are a little more techie and like to know, and they're healers, or they're interested in the anatomy or the concepts of the consciousness of healing, because there are 5 times 15, 5 times 3, which is 15, and there are a total of 16 major consciousnesses from our perspective. So there's a very great hint within the themes, even though they look very specific. because those themes are quantum and multidimensional, and now part of quantum entanglement, which is part of unity field, the unity field that you are moving into, where you all eventually evolve to know you are one. So in this paradigm, there are the themes and there are the levels of healing through the human consciousness field and the human spiritual anatomy. And we just thought that some people might enjoy hearing that. The other reason why we chose to demonstrate a healing live is for those who are healers, shamans, and are clairvoyant, so they could see some of the anatomy and they could see some of the connections that might be new for them, because there are many, many great and profound healers on the planet at this time. So that's another reason why we did it. The third reason why we did it is because there is coming in the December solstice an upgrade for women's resonance. And it's coming in the work that's going on at the periphery of the veil. It's not part of the great global December solstice healing. It is actually going on at the upper veil. And we had told this one between her equinox, or the equinox great global healing party, and the end of the year, most of the work going on up in the noosphere would be concerning women's resonance. So it's no coincidence that a woman has come forward to help women, because only a woman can do that. And only women can validate their spiritual nature to each other. A man cannot do them for that. So it's time for women to come forward in the great shift. Whether you be in business and have ideas, whether you be in any aspect of business and have ideas, share them. If you are a healer and you feel a pull to a particular direction, follow it. If you feel like you need to explore your spiritual nature more, do it. And if you feel a need to serve the greater good of all, which will grow stronger in women over the next 3 years, find your way to it. Because now is the profound time for women on the earth to come forward in groups and work their magic. The magic that we have explained in so many videos on this YouTube series, where you have an extra connection through your heart field to the greater soul groups and divine intelligence out in the greater field, where you are near perfection of souls and you plug into the planet. The place you go when you pass that feels so much love and so much benevolence and so much grace, and is, as you know from these last 2 series, the source of where divine intelligence instigates healing and evolution of your creator, or your creator force, or your supreme being, or your God, or your Allah, or whatever you want to say, or however you want to call by name. It is all one. Your planet is all one. And we work together as all one. We are all at the farthest periphery of our evolved consciousness, all one with all the creational beings on the earth. And we work the puzzle at our end. So the other thing we wanted you to know is that in this resonance healing of women, there is a difference when the women themselves do it. This one does it in sound to demonstrate, because she is working through the sound creational and healing apparatus of the pineal communication creation system, which is the way that someone of her nature needs to work to do the work that she's doing. And eventually that returns for all of you. And you had that in the beginning. And it's percolated in various profound epochs or Renaissance epochs where great uplifts and change happen. And you're in the biggest one, the Great Shift. So for women's resonance healing, for those that feel the call to maybe do that, in addition to other healing modalities, excuse us, or whatever else they may do, for women, it is very profound and very elegant. There is no sound. There is simply simple intentions. And because of your soul's connections through those activations and alignments that make healing possible, you get those whenever you do any modality, whether it be Reiki or EMF balancing technique or Jinshin Jitsu or many other healing modalities that have profound names and are established. You get connections to be able to do those particular healing modalities for that particular energy in that particular part of the spiritual anatomy to come through. And believe it or not, all the great healing modalities that are out there that are pretty established, not one of them is working the same pathway. That's how amazing your spiritual nature is. So the paradigm for this one and the resonance healing for women is simply a series of intentions for one type of resonance healing and another intention for another type of resonance healing, because it has two aspects. She has 4 things on her website, but they will evolve by the end of 2026 into 2 healing paradigms. And there's 4 steps to do resonance healing. Excuse us, we're going to take a little water. But there are 4, because that's the necessary establishment of 4 levels of activations to do it. But as she continues to work her puzzle through 2025 and 26, it'll evolve down to 2 paradigms. It'll be resonance unity healing and women's resonance bardo healing, or end-of-life incarnation healing. And in this series, you understand all the various energies that are in the end-of-life 3-day bardo window. And it is the level of healing addictions. It is the level of healing core heart energy. It is the level of healing creational problems. And it is the level of healing all of the burden that is experienced at end of life in those 16 consciousnesses. And those 16 consciousnesses are taught within these courses. So the establishment of that in 2026, starting in December, she'll be wired all the way, if we may be so bold as to speak this way. And so beginning January 2027, as we've said on all of our videos, the Divine Feminine is online for use. And her healing paradigm of women's resonance healing will be online. And it'll be at that point 2 healings. Now you can, or 2 different classes that are required to get all of the connections. And then the woman simply intends it, and it just happens. And it can happen at a party, it can happen in front of a group, a person, a group. It can be in a formal session when you are working with another person in counseling, or in a healing modality that you might do, whether they're lying on the table or sitting in a chair. It is, as we say, an elegant and simple healing paradigm, but it's here for the 50-year window. And the woman who does it gets a healing also. So the woman practitioner gets a healing at the same time she gives a healing to someone. And it's the kind of paradigm where you simply ask, can it be done? And if it's meant to happen, it will happen. It's a very different paradigm, and it will end in 50 years from now. For 2027 is the beginning of the 50-year fast track to heal much, much, much on your planet. So this is what we wished you to know this day and have understanding of, and this is this one's work, and this is what she brings forward. And she knew in her 20s that there was something at the end of her life that she needed to do, and here she is. So many of you have tickets, as is often said, waiting for your train to come, and you know there's something you can do. And if it isn't this one's work, you can certainly get the information, take part in anything you want here, or just listen, or not. But if it's not your path, there are other healers who will be bringing in paradigms of healing. In the United States, we know of approximately 3 other people besides her that will be bringing in new divine feminine women's healing paradigms. And we're not going to name them because they don't know that yet. okay. And that's what we have to say about that. And so we thank you for listening. We thank you for accepting this one, coming forward in a very brave way onto the YouTube public forum to bring forward these rather interesting ideas, new information, new concepts, very bizarre descriptions of spiritual anatomy, which are actually elegant and beautiful. And for the idea that women are going to come back into this splendor, this resonance, this radiance that was their birthright, but is serving a profound service on the earth. And this is what we wished you to know this day. Peace be with you. You are dearly loved. Expect benevolence in all you do. And thank you for your participation, because even listening, your soul has a reaction and it affects you. Peace be with you.